Ladies and gents, I'd just like to make a brief statement before we sign the actual contract. First of all, I'd like to introduce the people up here. To my right is Mr. Ron Esquera, who's the Albuquerque Area Director. Could you close that door, please? Ron Esquera, who's the Albuquerque Area Director, and standing is Frank Tenorio, the Secretary Treasurer of the Council. Here is the new Superintendent of the Albuquerque Indian School, Mr. Joe Abeda from Santa Clara Pueblo. Okay, I guess you all know 6 months ago the 19 Pueblos began a painful evaluation and review of the Albuquerque Indian School. The results of that evaluation and review basically presented two alternatives to the 19 Pueblos. One was to close the school, to do away with the present facility as we know it, and two was basically to undertake or take over the entire facility and see what the Indian people, the facility under Indian control could do. We have basically at the school a 5-phase development program. The initial phase is what you will see completed today by the signing of the contract. The second phase of the contract will involve the signing, the planning, evaluation, and designing of curriculum and implementation of that curriculum. We hope that phase will be completed within the next 12 months. The third phase of our program is to assume control and contract the operation of two other key components in addition to the academic. And that is the home living, which is basically the dormitory operations, and to the plant management, the operation and maintenance of the facility itself. But the fourth and final phase, I might say, would be the planning and design of a new facility. That is a key phase, and we hope over the next 3 years we will reach that point. And of course, step 5 will be the actual construction of a new school. We again, as I stated many times, will be looking forward to the construction and opening of a new school, hopefully on the Sandia or Isleta reservation. We intend to move the facility out of Albuquerque for obvious reasons. I think its present location has presented many a problem, not only for the student but also for the administrators and the staff of the school. I'd like to at this time give an opportunity to Mr. Esquera, the Albuquerque Area Director, to say a few words in regards to the contract, if you might. Ron?
Okay. Let me begin by saying that I think that our negotiations in this contract have been one of mutual cooperation. This represents the first significant contract that the area has done under the authority of Public Law 93-638, which is the Indian Self-Determination Education Assistance Act. A couple comments on the contract. It's a 3-year contract, negotiated yearly. The first year's operations contract budget amount is a little over $560,000. One other thing, I think that it's appropriate to say that for so long, a lot of people have said that the answer for the Indians is education. This, I think, represents a significant advancement beyond just sending the Indian kids to school for an education, but a total involvement in the education process by the Indian community. So it's with a great deal of pleasure that I'm here today to have the contract signed with Dale.
I might add, Mr. Abeda here is the first Indian superintendent the school has ever had. And Joe, do you have a comment or two to make?
Just a very brief comment. I'm very anxious about the opportunity. I feel that we have assumed tremendous responsibility. I'm anxious that we get organized as soon as possible to fulfill the contract requirements. I think that 1976 is currently being celebrated by people across the country and will be remembered as a birthday year. But for the Pueblo people, I think that it's an even more significant year because of this assertion of control. I'm hopeful that through our success, that we're going to be able to serve as an example for all of the other pueblos in New Mexico, and for that matter for all of the other Indian communities throughout the country, that it is possible for an Indian community to assume control and responsibility for educating its own students.
Thank you. We will now sign the contract.
I've got 4 copies here. Procedure is that the contract is signed first, after which I sign.
Thank you, ladies and gents. Do you have any questions that we might answer?
I have a request.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gents, I'd just like to make a brief statement before we sign the actual contract. First of all, I'd like to introduce the people up here. To my right is Mr. Ron Esquera, who's the Albuquerque Area Director. Could you close that door, please? Ron Esquera, who's the Albuquerque Area Director, and standing is Frank Tenorio, the Secretary Treasurer of the Council. Here is the new Superintendent of the Albuquerque Indian School, Mr. Joe Abeda from Santa Clara Pueblo. Okay, I guess you all know 6 months ago the 19 Pueblos began a painful evaluation and review of the Albuquerque Indian School. The results of that evaluation and review basically presented 2 alternatives to the 19 Pueblos. One was to close the school, to do away with the present facility as we know it, and 2 was basically to undertake or take over the entire facility and see what the Indian people, the facility and the Indian control could do. We have basically at the school a 5-phase development program. The initial phase is what you will see completed today by the signing of the contract. The second phase of the contract will involve the signing, the planning, evaluation, and designing of curriculum and implementation of that curriculum. We hope that phase will be completed within the next 12 months. The third phase of our program is to assume control and contract the operation of 2 other key components in addition to the academics.
Well, good morning, Sengitamo Amera Hopa. Guten Morgen to Miss Huber, and Tashidele to everybody. Today's morning news, and today is a Health and Wellness Friday. So let's see what's going on today. Alright, so Daily Bulletin, Friday, February 25th, and it is Revive to Thrive Day. And there is cohort C is testing this morning, so make sure you report to your Brave Connections, and then your teacher in Brave Connections will give you passes to go to the testing center at the Pod D, depending on what your grade level is. And staff members can test anytime, or teachers during lunch and staff members anytime between 8:30 and 3 p.m. today. And we are having the Revive to Thrive Wellness Day So at 9:25 there will be an opening session, and there will be a link available for online students in their Brave Connections Google Classroom, and so make sure you join us on that. Some school news. Applications are still being accepted for our new students for school year 22-23. There is a second entrance exam tomorrow, February 26th at 9 a.m. for mid-school students and 10 a.m. for high school students. If you need to need help with your online application, make sure you attend so the staff members can help you with that. Okay, and today is Revive to Thrive, so opening session at the Wellness Center, and then there's a breakout session in various locations. Make sure you follow your schedules. There'll be music and lunch in the plaza today. Clubs and organizations. Still seeking students to form clubs, these various clubs for our students here for international experiences. Our Friends of Tibet and TCV will be having some activities next week for Tibetan New Year and Tibetan Uprising Day on March 10th. And then, of course, Bali Cultural Experience. And we do partner with Monte del Sol for that. And then Hello Tomodachi, our Japanese friendship club. And Wesh du Limon, our French conversational practice club, I guess you would say. And next week, Thursday, we want the Friends of Tibet, TCV, invites you to celebrate Tibetan New Year with some drezi, which is sweet rice and fruits and nuts, sweet tea, Tibetan cookies, and Tibetan songs. We hope to have a Tibetan guest speaker on campus to join us. So, Losar Tashidile, Guzde Boyimpe. Okay, math department still has their bulletin board with the math problems outside. Go over there and check it out, and hopefully you can solve it for a prize. And then that's what the math bulletin board looks like, and this one was pretty cool, this calculus problem. Natural Helpers is having a lunch meeting next Wednesday, March 2nd at 12:25 a.m. Lunch will be provided for that. Pet outreach again. If you want to play with some dogs on campus, make sure you reach out to these contacts. Chess team again. They played in the chess tournament and the Northern School chess tournament, and practice will continue Tuesdays and Thursdays during lunch. Athletic and sports news. Well, we're pretty excited for our Lady Braves to have reached the 2-3A championship game in Las Vegas Robertson. The score was 49-39, I believe. Congrats to the girls. Good luck tonight at the game in Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas, in Las Vegas Robertson. So the championship tournament game is going to be preceded by a JV girls game at 5:30, then the championship game at 7 p.m. Dining hall news. Once again, for today's lunch is hot dogs, tater tots, jello with fruit and veggie bar, and milk. And dinner tonight is a fry bread burger. I want to stay for lunch for dinner tonight. Make sure remember that there's a beverage station open and an infused water station. Quote of the day. And Dr. Martin Luther King. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. So yeah, we are still facing these days. I'm not sure when war will be a thing of the past, but it seems like we have to work at it every time, every generation, that we have to achieve peace and brotherhood and combat racism and war with unconditional love and the truth. And word of the day, not the door. Speaking of working together, galvanize. Galvanize. It means to stimulate muscles by administering a shock, or to stimulate or move to action, or to cover with zinc. So the word galvanize means to stimulate or incite someone into taking action. Your impassioned speech might galvanize the other members of the Ecology Club to start a school-wide recycling initiative. So let's galvanize today, work together today, have a nice, thriving day. This week's birthday, Talia Angelique, my goddaughter, happy birthday. Maverick, Jaren, Jesse, Chase, Liana, happy birthday this week. And also, if you want to be a reader of the Daily Bulletin, we'll be seeking new readers for the rest of the semester. Make sure you email me, wpacheco@SFIS.online. And thank you for watching today's bulletin. Have a great day. Have a great Revive to Thrive day. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to our Daily Bulletin channel so they can stay updated on our news. Have a very good day.
Ladies and gents, I'd just like to make a brief statement before we sign the actual contract. First of all, I'd like to introduce the people up here. To my right is Mr. Ron Esquera, who's the Albuquerque Area Director. Could you close that door, please? Ron Esquera, who's the Albuquerque Area Director, and standing is Frank Denoyer, the Secretary Treasurer of the Council. Here is the new Superintendent of the Albuquerque Indian School, Mr. Joe Abeda from Santa Clara Pueblo. Okay. I guess you all know 6 months ago the 19 Pueblos began a painful evacuation